video is to look at navigating PAM within your school environment. Your school will provide you with a URL, for example pam.yourschool's website. Your school will also provide you with a username and password. In this case, that will be the default username and password that the school will keep on record and use whenever they need to reset. I have now arrived at the PAM login screen and I've logged in with my credentials. I now press the sign in button and PAM will now go and check my username against the database and log in. Here we have 2 students assigned to this account, where we have one in Year 8 and one in Year 10. The configuration of this screen is entirely up to the school and will depend on such things as whether or not the parent-teacher interviews are open or whether or not they've turned on daily messages, calendars or other events. So from this screen we can get a list of the daily messages that are available to my students. We can look at the next 2 weeks of calendared activities. I can see the school links that the school has provided for me, and then any information or knowledge banks that the school has decided that parents and students should be looking at. So for example, I can click on this one here and I would get access to any documentation that the school has placed here. This is fantastic for schools to provide second copies of permission slips or other notes. Now we can choose to click on one of our children and the screen will be the same for either. As you can see, the home button is always made available. So the first thing to confirm here is the personal details, and this is a good opportunity to confirm that what the school has on record matches what you have informed the school of. The next tab in this particular example shows the student timetable based on the school that they're at. Now of course for a small primary school this may not be viewable, but at a secondary college this is quite usable. The next section informs you of their attendance. Here you can get information on their attendance summary, the class attendance percentages and their history per period. Now period history is useful as a parent to monitor whether or not your child might be turning up late or not turning up to certain periods. The next screen, assessment and reporting, will give you access to your school reports. Now these school reports are printed off at whatever time period the school decides, but generally you'll have an interim and an end of semester report. You'll then have access to the commendations should your school be using this. This is where your school can award your student completion of certain things such as science competitions or other events. The next is learning areas. Within learning areas, as a parent, you'll be able to see the upcoming work of your students. So at the moment, this child has a due task on the 30th of August for mathematics, but you can also display a more detailed appearance. From this screen, you will see that the child has a number of tasks in French, some are overdue, in physical education, some are overdue, and also in textiles. You can also see some homework tasks and overdue homework as well. Assessment tasks are most commonly those tasks that are meant to appear on your reports, and homework are just general formative work done by teachers leading up to. Now if you want further detail, simply click on the subject and you'll be able to get information of what was done or what wasn't done and the result. Now if we go back to the summary and choose, for example, the mathematics class, you will see all of the different types of feedback that a school can provide. Now this is only 3 of the possible feedback options. Schools have many different ways to provide feedback to parents, but you also can see that this particular one has a comment. The other option available here is the letters. Now this is a new feature within Simon, where letters generated by the school are shared directly to you as a parent for your perusal. This would generally be supplemental to the printed letter until such time as the school decides to move away from that and just move to electronic. You're able to also confirm and help the school out by putting in an email address here. This email address would be the main email address linked to the account for the purpose of sending any correspondence the school would use. As well, you can change your password, but each school will recommend you a different policy here, and some schools will recommend not to change the password for ease of maintenance and restoration of lost passwords. So that concludes the walkthrough